to do when you look back at it, given what you were going through at the time. You put your head above the parapet and volunteer, because we were struggling to recruit, weren't we? From what I remember.
Yo, welcome back to another week. Today I'm keeping my voice down because I'm actually filming a podcast today. For those of you that don't know, alongside producing, I own a podcast company with two other boys. We're filming a podcast today. Those said boys are in Dubai at the moment, so I am taking on the pleasure of recording this podcast. Turn this up.
Yeah, Claire, that's not good.
I know, but
So I can either edit this live, so I don't have to do any work afterwards, or I can edit it afterwards. But when the person's talking, so who's talking here? This lady's talking. Number one, press. So we used to have this company back in Ossett, in the studio in Ossett, and we had a proper podcast studio there that we built. It was something we were so proud of, so when we moved out, it was a shame that we ended up moving out of it. The gear we have here just makes the job so much easier than what it was in Ossett. Here we have the technology to be able to kind of make it as efficient as we can possibly make it. Good morning, it's Saturday today, and I've just got to Talyard. It's about 9 AM. Last night we were here, me and some of the boys from the studio, for the opening of a new cafe that's launched here. But this morning I have got a guy that I've been working with for a while now called Phil. Probably been working with him for the past year. He's coming from Manchester. I've come extra early this morning because I'm working with... He sent me through some demos this morning. I'm going to create some ideas around those demos. So I've just nipped back to my van for my guitar and I'm going to get some ideas down. I'm gigging in York tonight. So I'm playing at a place called Pizza on the Square. Played there for probably like the past year now. I haven't played in a while. So I'm looking forward to being there tonight once again. Always a good time at Pizza on the Square. Yeah, for once, I'm actually looking forward to a bit of a break. So I'm just about to start work on this new song, which is quite cool because I love songwriting. I love songwriting for other people. So to write a song that will be pitched to another artist this morning is pretty cool. Looking forward to hearing how it turns out. I've just got the demo loaded up into Logic. The only thing is I can't show this kind of work because it has to remain private until anything gets done with it. I don't even think the artist that I'm working with has heard this track. I wish I could kind of show the process and what I would do to remake this demo to then pitch to an artist, but I could do it, and then if it ever gets launched and released, I could do like a breakdown or resurface the clips, but until then, unfortunately, I can't show you. Next time I see you, Phil will probably be here. Well, we didn't get kicked out, which was good. Well, how long can we keep going?
Yeah.
You know, making music and doing our job. It worked out really well, so we moved out of there pretty much straight away and then just came here. I'm ready to go when you are. Because sometimes when people can't fit like the lyrics into the melody, they hold words like you did. Until they both hit the floor. Yeah. It works, it does work. The rest of the words have rhythm. The rest of the words have rhythm, and then that one word's being extended just so it fits. Good morning, it's Sunday today and I'm in the studio once again, laying down some vocals for some clients. I've also been doing some producing, some mixing. Really good gig last night. The energy from the crowd were great. I always feed off the energy and I always have done. There was times where I was first starting out, and still to this day, to be honest, where you'll even play to like nobody, which is like one of the hardest parts about performing. And then your energy just isn't there. I feel like I can't give my best performance, which is a massive negative of mine, because as a performer, you should just give it your all every single time. But I feel like I really struggle with that side of performing. Like, it's something I need to improve on. Yo, so welcome back to another segment of this video where I break down tracks that I've recently been working on. I'm going to show you a song that I worked on for Tyler Dine. She's a long-term client of mine now. I've been working with her for over a year. 22. I'm going to play a snippet right now of the original demo that Tyler sent me of her just playing the piano and singing.
One room apartment.
It may be in London City, but it couldn't get much more shitty than this place.
So you can hear by that, it was quite theatrical. I haven't ever had much experience with theatre music, and I don't think Tyler wanted to go down the theatrical route, despite kind of writing it in that style. But I know that she does a lot of stuff like that, and she has a background in theatre, so that's just how she wrote that song. Naturally, the starting this for me was a little bit hard to get my head around at first. I sent her a few demos and I remember her not being the biggest fan of it, but that was always fine because it just allows me to just go back, improve it, try again. And then after a little bit of back and forth, Maddie from the US, who's a friend of both of ours, she came over last year and did some work with me last year. Very, very talented girl. But she dropped me a voice note one day, and it was actually this voice note, which I will play for you in a second. She sang it how she thought it could work being sang, and yeah, I'll just play you it now.
Okay, so I was messing around with that new chord progression, if y'all decide to run with something like that. And if she wants to change those chords up, I was thinking something really pretty, if it's more ballady, is like, one room apartment. It may be in London, but it couldn't get much more city than this place.
I loved it. I clicked with it straight away. I thought we could make something really, really cool here. I kind of built it from there. We both obviously pitched the idea to Tyler just before I began work, and she loved the sound. Maddie actually got her friend, Corey, to track piano in his studio and send it over to me, which he did. Some woes at the beginning. These woes at the beginning were not intentional, actually. Tyler actually came to the studio. She drove up to the studio from London, and we recorded vocals in a day. In between the first verse and the chorus, we both agreed that it would be cool to have something like this. So we layered some oohs and I then copied them to the beginning of the track. Otherwise, it would be pretty plain piano for about 8 bars. So the vocals come in on the first verse. There's nothing on the first verse apart from vocals and piano. We get to the pre-chorus of this song and we get a kick in there.
Friends, I'm gonna watch on repeat.
Just to set the tempo, the rhythm of the song. And the kick doesn't actually stop until the end of the song pretty much. Got a snare in there, which just introduces itself slowly. And then we've got a little melody line, laid up some bells. The song's about being 22, having more responsibilities, kind of reminiscing on your younger days as a teenager and as a child. So I thought the bells were quite playful and kind of resembled that past that Tyler is missing, essentially. We got a glide bass, starting to introduce some bass. The glide bass is actually just a stock Logic bass, but I love it. I use it quite a lot. It's very poppy and it just glides. And then we got a TV effect and a remote button. She makes a few references to television, so we got some TV sound effects there just to kind of imitate what she is doing. Then we start to introduce some guitar, and then we have like a free snare drum little fill straight into that chorus.
So I say, what do I do now that I've turned 22 and I'm not living in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, and I don't have a lawyer paying all of my bills?
I remember when I actually went to create this chorus, I had a loop in mind that I wrote for quite an emotional song a few years ago. That song never saw the light of day, and I used this loop in it. It was quite atmospheric. I just had the loop in mind and I thought, God, that would hit well if I could find that hit loop. And luckily I found that loop from the old song and moved it into Tyler's song, and it just works so well and adds a lot of atmosphere. It's a little bit of ear candy. I know I like to use that word a lot, but it kind of makes your ears prick up a little bit when you can just hear it blended in with the rest of the music. Got the bells. And I've added a rhythmic bass here as well. We got to the end of the song and Tyler were like, yeah, we're still missing something, but I'm not quite sure what it is. So she was like, is there something rhythmic that you could add? And I actually thought that it needed more bass anyway. So we added a rhythmic bass. A stick loop, added a hat loop. So with the drums all together, There's a lot going on, but it doesn't sound a lot when you're listening to it all together. But they all complement the song in their own way and all stick out in the ears when you really listen to it. Got some guitar strums. It is all literally just about layering. You can see I've even layered the drums here 3 times. I've got 3 different snares here, just layering it up to make it sound as big as possible. You can hear the difference if I take just one of them out. Nowhere near as big. And then a nice little drum fill, because I think a drum fill is a really good way of transitioning between one section of the song to another section. We've also even got an orchestral crash there, and I even layered the orchestral crash. Still got that kick, and then I actually start to introduce some strings here. Pull everything out again apart from that kick, and then the second half of the second verse we start to build up again then.
It'll never change. That's how it feels when you're underage. I need a shooting star to come along.
So you drop everything out, start to pull everything back in, and then start to get bigger and bigger again. Felt like dropping it all in this song was good. My intention behind it was basically, the song's an emotional song. You can't have it building all the way to the end because you want to also capture that emotion in Tyler's voice. And you want the message that she's trying to tell to be able to be received without having a drum kit going at all times or a bass going and this instrument and that instrument. It's not that kind of song. So we're still trying to keep it stripped back, but then introducing it all again very slowly. You want to make the listeners subconsciously go through the same emotions that Tyler is going through singing this song. This chorus is looking pretty similar to the last chorus, but I actually only added a few toms and a tambourine. It really just brings the song alive for that last time. I then just pretty much focused on slowing it right down all the way to the end, and then we've got that TV effect one last time to imitate Tyler essentially turning off the TV, turning off Friends. And then the static just fades out. Yeah, lovely song by Tyler. Really, really enjoyed working on this. And yeah, 22 by Tyler Dine. Go and stream it. We're currently working on a brand new EP right now, which I'm having a lot of fun with. I've got one more track to get together for that. Then we've got vocals to track. And she's got some really, really solid songs on there that I'm hoping to be able to provide another breakdown for. Yo, so it's Monday today, which means I am ending this video here. Another productive week down. I just want to quickly say a big thank you to everyone that's been watching the videos. I've tried this sort of stuff before and it's never been long lasting. I've tried like the weekly videos and putting content out weekly, but it's so much effort to keep up to. I'm doing this not just for myself so that I can look back on my own journey. And like I said before, I'm doing this to also inspire other people and follow along my journey. I've had people comment nice things on these videos. Somebody actually came up to me the other day, Jordan, shout out Jordan, that he always sees me on Instagram and how relentless I am and how much work I'm putting in. And honestly, things like that mean more to me than anything really, because it shows that people acknowledge what I'm doing and they can appreciate how dedicated I am to my craft and making this work. I really do appreciate when people can acknowledge that. And honestly, comments like that stick with me more than anything. If you also want to see any other types of videos, like topics that you want me to cover, talk about, walk you through processes, maybe how I write a song. If there's anything in particular you want to see from me, let me know, drop a comment, drop me a message on Instagram, and yeah, we'll work it out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next week.